Oh, Dub Nation, you better buckle up because the chaos train is rolling in at full throttle and it's not slowing down for anyone. Have you seen those protest memes blowing up on Twitter? Fans outside Chase Center with signs like, "Keep our soul, not just the scoreboard." Yeah, it feels like this franchise is turning into a reality TV drama nobody signed up for but can't stop watching. Radio callers losing their minds, bloggers calling every move the beginning of the end, and here we are, stuck guessing which part of our beloved Warriors' legacy is about to be pawned off next. And, of course, nobody wants to talk about the elephant, or should I say the double-crossing ghost, in the room just yet. But, you know, Dub Nation, you can smell the betrayal in the air before it hits the headlines like a curry-deep three. Faint at first, and then bam, straight to the feelings. Remember those glory days? The "we believe" miracle that pulled us from the darkest depths, lighting that fire of hope? Or that heart punch of 73-9 when we thought we were invincible but ended up shattered like a franchise-wide cliffhanger? And don't even get me started on KD's slippery betrayal, vanishing from Oakland like a Houdini act, leaving us with nothing but stunned silence and a crater-sized hole in our championship dreams. Still, through all the pain and glory, we've stuck with the team, believing in the process, the brand, the family. We've cheered every Game 6 clay meltdown-ending barrage like it was gospel. That deep-seated faith, that love for blue and gold runs deeper than any jersey's thread count. But now, man, now there's this weird toxic energy, like déjà vu from the front office's dysfunction, lurking just beneath the surface, threatening to unravel everything. Haven't we seen this movie before? Front office mumbling about payroll, planning for the future, yet quietly letting key pieces slip through their fingers like grains of sand on the bay shore. I mean, how many times has that luxury tax excuse been pulled out like a magic trick to justify tanking fan morale? Remember the baffling trades that seemed to make no sense on paper? The dead-end contracts? The unwillingness to aggressively chase that third or fourth star who would push us back into true contender territory? It all smells like a slow burn of sabotage, masked as strategic decisions. Are we being played by a front office that's more obsessed with bookkeeping than winning? Is this the Warriors dynasty we thought was immortal, actually being chipped away by cold calculations? And now here it comes, the plot twist nobody saw coming. Well, at least not loudly enough. The villain at the center of this cyclone of despair? The actualização de contrato Gary Payton II, saga. Yeah, that's right. The subtle signer, the glue guy, the hustle star whose contract update is sending shockwaves through every corner of Dub Nation. Who knew a contract update could ignite such fury? But it's not just numbers on paper. It's a symbol, a signal, that the Warriors are willing to let a vital piece of their gritty identity slip to save pennies or hedge bets. Gary Payton II wasn't just a role player. He was a heartbeat, a defender's nightmare, a hustle guy who brought that electric energy we swore was the Warriors' secret sauce after the splash faded. And now, what? Potentially priced out, undervalued, tossed aside in the name of fiscal. Prudence? Classic. Does it remind you of anything? Remember how KD left us to fend for ourselves just as we were peaking, betrayed by more than just a player, but by an entire narrative of loyalty and self-preservation. This feels eerily similar, except the betrayal is silent, tucked behind the curtain of spreadsheets and contract negotiations. The owners playing Monopoly with real people's hearts. The Warriors' front office acting like they're managing a hedge fund instead of a championship-caliber basketball team. What kind of dynasty does this to its own legend, to its own hustle? Heroes who bleed on the court? To the very fans who scream Warriors like it's a prayer every single night? It's like watching your favorite family member quietly packing their bags while telling you everything's fine. And hey, don't think this is some isolated incident. I'm telling you, there's more happening behind the scenes that nobody's talking about. Sources close to the locker room hint at growing unrest, not just from the players, but the coaches too. Quiet meetings that stretch late into the night, rumors swirling about who's next on the chopping block to balance payroll. If Gary Payton II's contract update feels cold, wait until whispers about the offseason shakeups start leaking. The ground might be cracking beneath the Chase Center, and the Warriors dynasty could be in more trouble than the 2007 playoffs ever. Hinted at. It's painful, really. Steph, the heartbeat, the soul, the man who's carried this team through hell, and glory, looking around at a roster that might not have the same fire, the same chemistry. Because when your defensive pest and trusted teammate faces the chopping block, what does that say about the direction? The cracks in the dynasty feel like fractures now, spreading out from a single bad decision, one after another, like dominoes falling in slow motion. We're talking about a franchise that once made miracles its trademark and heartbreak its nemesis. And yet, here we are again, caught somewhere between furious betrayal and heartbreak, wondering if this empire is crumbling or simply being rebuilt on sand. And if you think this storm is just a little rain, think again. If this is how they handled Gary Payton II's contract, just you wait. The whispers about which superstar could be next in line to be sacrificed as the front office plays the numbers game are already circulating. Some say it'll be more than just role players. It could be a star, a cornerstone, the heart of this all. Dub Nation, this feels like the calm before another shattering storm. We've lived through miracles and heartbreak through the tears and triumphs that only true fans understand. But this feels like a breaking point. Is this the collapse of our beloved dynasty, or, God forbid, the setup for a twist so savage it rewrites everything we thought we knew? Drop your takes below, because one thing's for sure, this storm is far from over, and nobody's seen anything. Yet, what do you think this means for the future of the Warriors? How do we hold on when the people running the show seem more interested in the balance sheet than the soul? Talk to me, Dub Nation, because if loyalty is a currency, it sure as hell feels like someone just declared bankruptcy. How much deeper can the betrayal cut before Dub Nation finally snaps? Smash that like button right now, because what's about to unravel makes KD's departure look like a polite breakup at a Starbucks. The manhead of all villainy lurking behind the curtain. Bob Myers, the so-called architect of the Warriors dynasty, who's been quietly plotting the franchise's unraveling since his supposed Dub Nation loyalty took a dirty detour into self-preservation and corporate chess. It's not just a coaching spat or a locker room power play. Myers has been turning the dagger with cold precision, orchestrating moves that betray every single fan who chanted strength in numbers. Remember when the front office was hailed as the gold standard, crafting the near-perfect championship formula? This carefully constructed fairy tale has a rotten core. For years, Myers spun a fantasy of loyalty and legacy, securing titles, but quietly sowing seeds of discord by mishandling contracts, enabling toxic egos, and bungling the most crucial personnel decisions. And now, it's come to this. Evidence shows Myers deliberately undermined the team's chemistry, driving wedges between Steph and Draymond, cozying up to agents and market opportunists instead of the players who bled on the court. The recent benching scandal isn't some isolated meltdown. It's the consequence of Myers' invisible hand-pulling strings to test who's truly expendable. Meanwhile, Kerr's simmering tension with the front office raises the question, is Steve just a bystander or a complicit actor in this drama? Sources say Myers ignored Kerr's pleas to rein in gift-wrapped minutes for fading veterans, trading away trust for transaction fees, treating the team like a chessboard rather than a brotherhood. And do you remember how Myers botched the Klay Thompson extension talks? Fans celebrated the "we believe" roots, yet here we are, watching Klay's prime years drained away under management's mismanagement. Davis and Looney bounce between starting roles and the end of bench lines, and the organization keeps spinning the loyalty narrative, feeding Dub Nation a line that reeks of corporate doublespeak. What's worse, The betrayal is systemic. The ownership, led by Joe Lacob, who once vowed to put the Warriors on a path to sustained excellence, has become increasingly invisible, buying into Myers' playbook rather than holding him accountable. The echoes of the 73-9 collapse resonate here, a painful reminder that once a juggernaut's foundation cracks, the demise accelerates. Remember the KD saga, when loyalty currency was cashed out for short-term glory, only to implode in a humiliating exit that left Steph holding the bag? That wasn't the last lesson learned. Now we're watching the sequel, Myers' quiet exodus from front office hero to franchise villain, reshaping the narrative from dynasty to dumpster fire. Even as Lakers and Nets fans laugh at the Warriors' sputtering engine, the real humiliation is internal. Dub Nation feels abandoned, betrayed by the very people they trusted to keep the ship steady. But here's the piece no one dares to talk about. Myers' strained relationship with Steph Curry wasn't just a personality clash. It's a simmering power war where Bob's vision for the franchise's future directly conflicts with Steph's. With Myers consolidating control to maximize short-term financial payoff, Steph's call for rebuilding around youth and culture has been systematically ignored and undermined. This isn't just front office drama. This is a dynasty on life support with the caretaker injecting poison instead of medicine. And as the Warriors' rivals sharpen their knives, sensing the fragility beneath the surface, you have to wonder, what happens if Steph finally snaps? What if the greatest warrior of all decides he's done being a pawn in Myers' power game? No more strength in numbers, just a massive implosion where loyalty is a currency no one trusts, and the dynasty unravels right before our eyes. Is this the moment the Warriors end up a cautionary tale? Another dynasty that collapsed from inside sabotage? Or could this be the twisted rebirth of Dub Nation, where from the ashes of Myers' betrayal arises a new era, forged in fire and defiance? Because if this is how they're treating their most cherished players, just imagine the chaos when the next superstar, tired of the smoke and mirrors, confronts the villain lurking in the shadows of the front office. As a Warriors fan who's seen every miracle and heartbreak, I can't shake the fear this might be the breaking point. Is it the end of everything we built, or the twisted rebirth of Dub Nation? This isn't just a professional crisis, it's a personal knife wound to every fan who believed in the Warrior way.